There was a lot you could say about Paw Patrol police officer and squad leader, Chase. You could say he was a natural leader, brave, daring, athletic, popular, friendly, and even childish at times, but he'll vigorously deny it. Of course, one word all his friends always said that came to their minds was workaholic. It wasn't that Chase didn't know how to have fun, or even relax, but did tend to get too caught up in acting as a professional at times to the point where he often forget when he didn't need to. Whether it was training, patrolling, planning new team tactics, testing equipment, or even cleaning the lookout up, Chase had a bad habit of getting too caught up in the moment. Thankfully, Marshall was always there to drag his sorry butt away from duties and towards town where the two could relax. "Come on, Marshall, did you have to drag me by my tail in front of everyone?" asked Chase, glaring at his best friend. "Would you rather have me use the rope?" asked Marshall, grinning as the two stopped at a corner as the crossing light turned red. "Besides, you were driving everyone stir crazy with your antics." "All I was doing was making sure the lookout was secure." "We did have a break-in last month after all," replied Chase, huffing. "That was just Callie chasing after Chiquetta who took her mouse toy," giggled Marshall. Chase sighed, walking ahead of his best friend as the light signaled to walk. "Okay, so maybe I was a bit overworked." "Yup, and so here I am to bring you out to town for some fun," said Marshall as he led Chase to the center of town where they walked under a giant banner that read Town Flea Market. Thankfully, it didn't have real fleas for sale, but trinkets and goods you normally didn't find in stores that people were giving out for free. "Whoa, look at all the cool stuff," replied Chase as he walked over to one booth that held widely shaped glasses and vases. He made a few funny faces in front of them before spotting Marshall near a magic shop that was selling all kinds of magician gear. The dally waved a wand that he picked from a hat full of them, and out came a set of fireworks that spooked the poor pup into the air and landed on the hat tail first. The wands all activated, sending Marshall flying into the air with cracks of fire and sparkles behind him as he landed in front of Chase. Opening his eyes, he giggled and said, "I'm good. Just having a sparkle of a time." He, chuckled Chase, shaking his head. "Come on, sparkle butt," he pointed to Marshall's haunches which were covered in sparkle dust that the Dalmatian shook off. "Let's see what else is around." The two pups continued onward until they were in the center of the town where Mayor Goodway was handing some balloons to some children before wishing them a good time. She spotted the two pups before smiling at them. "Ah, Chase. Marshall. So nice to see you. How are you enjoying Adventure Bay's flea market?" "It's pretty cool, Mayor Goodway," replied Chase, watching the happy folks pass by. "I've never seen so many booths before. Well, we've had a few visitors from out of town decide to come in and put up some of their stands. We even have a dog with her own stand nearby," replied Mayor Goodway. "Really? A dog stand owner? We gotta see that," replied Marshall, barking with excitement. "Sure, she's down that way and to the left. If you see anything you like at her shop, or any others, please let them know to forward the bill to me," replied Mayor Goodway. "You don't have to do that for us, Mayor," replied Chase, blushing from such a kind act. Marshall was just as equally red as he shook his head in agreement. "Nonsense, after what you pups have done for this town I would be honored. Now, if you excuse me, I need to see how Chicoletta is doing at our booth," replied Mayor Goodway. "You have a booth, Mayor?" asked Marshall. "Oh yes, I have a rare set of corn kernels from around the world. I thought it would be best to let Chicoletta handle that while I gave these balloons." "See ya around," she replied before walking away with a wave. The two friends looked at each other and smirked. "How much do you want to bet that Chicoletta's eaten half of those kernels by now?" asked Chase. "Only half? When it comes to corn, Chicoletta is like rubble at a buffet table," laughed Marshall as the two made their way in the direction Mayor Goodway told them.
It didn't take them long to discover the booth, and it was quite an eyesore. It was a full-on black tent with purple symbols on it that neither pup recognized. Entering inside, the two found themselves shivering as if they walked into a sudden chill that made it feel 20 degrees colder inside. Unlike the artifacts outside in the other booths, the stuff inside here was creepy. There were strange dolls, china pots that were in various designs, books that were old, moldy, and hands with eyes in them. Their marionettes hanging from strings above. Strange glowing orbs with smoke or lightning in them. Amulets and crowns of Eastern design that looked both heavy and mystical. It was like entering a dark realm of mystery. "And then maybe we should leave," replied Marshall, shivering and shaking in the knees. "This place is giving me the creeps." "Why, yeah," replied Chase, feeling just as uncomfortable. However, before they could leave, they turned around and jumped in shock upon seeing an elderly English golden retriever with one pale eye staring at them with a toothy grin. Said set of teeth was missing a few too. She wore a purple cloak with a hood covering half her face as she strolled forward as if on smoke. Marshall and Chase looked at each other, both unsure of what to do as the strange elderly dog looked down at them. "And what has fate brought before me today? 2 young pups? Oh, darlings, TSK TSK. You come in here not knowing what fortune has in store for you," she replied. We were just leaving," replied Chase, nervously smiling. "Why yeah, LL leaving," replied Marshall. "Oh, leaving so soon? You see nothing that interests you in Morgana's tent?" She leaned forward. "Nothing calling for you?" Chase was about to say something when he felt weird. Like there was a fuzzy feeling in the back of his head. A small tingle, something that was bothering him. Marshall, instead spoke, "We're not interested. Thank you, goodbye." Marshall made his way for the exit, but just as Chase was about to follow, the pale retriever stopped him with her paw. "No, there is something calling you. Be it fate or chance, you cannot prevent the wheel's sudden turn of your destiny." Chase looked at the grinning dog lady before looking to a nervous Marshall. "I'll be with you in a moment." "But..." "It's okay. I'll be fine," replied Chase. "I mean, she's just a crazy old dog lady. It's not like she can cast a spell on me." Marshall whimpered a bit but nodded and soon left, leaving the two alone. Morgana put her paw away and presented her wares around them. Come find what it is that seeks you out. Be it good fortune or bad, it shall change you forever." Chase didn't say anything, but that darn annoying buzzing in his head was not stopping. "She must have done some kind of gypsy trick on me. Fine. I'll just get something and go." He sniffed around, trying to find something interesting that would get the dog lady to let him leave in peace, when he stopped upon a small desk containing what looked to be a shriveled dead paw. It smelled like a monkey's arm. The lady gasped before turning into a neutral face. "Oh my, you are called by the monkey's paw. What little desire do you have that burns so brightly that you would give anything for it?" "What's a monkey's paw?" asked Chase. "A monkey's paw is a magical item that shall grant you a number of wishes based on the number of fingers unfolded on the hand. Each wish shall come true until the hand is fully shut, but beware," she started to grin, which made a shiver go down Chase's spine, "for each wish comes at a price. A price you will regret in the end." Chase snorted, which made Morgana raise her eyebrow. "Oh, not a believer? Magic and curses are just..." "Magic and curses are just fairy tales," replied Chase, rolling his eyes. "Look, I know you must be good at this whole mumbo-jumbo stuff, but if I get the stupid paw, can I leave?" "Of course, if you wish. But I suggest you grab something else," replied Morgana, leaning in closer. "For if you leave with the monkey's paw, your fate, and the fate of those around you, are sealed." "Right," replied Chase as he took the monkey's paw in his jaws and flipped it onto his head. "Just send the bill to Mayor Goodway." With that said, Chase walked out of the tent while the dog lady just smiled. "See ya later, lady." "Oh, we will meet again," replied Morgana as she watched him leave. Chase walked out of the tent, glad to feel the sun on his face when Marshall tackled into him. Chase. You're okay. I thought she was going to bubble you in a pot and eat you for lunch. I'm fine, Marshall. Please get off me, replied Chase as he slowly got up. Marshall noticed the monkey's paw on the ground and sniffed it before sticking his tongue out. What is that? It smells dead. It's a monkey's paw, replied Chase as he picked it up with his mouth before flipping it on his back. It's some stupid trinket I had to get. Grants wishes if you wish while holding it and the fingers fold to tell how many wishes are left. I think I'll just bury it in the backyard for the poor thing to rest. Sounds good, poor little guy, replied Marshall before the two made their way as far away from the tent as possible. They were about to turn the corner when Marshall gasped and made his way towards another booth nearby. This one was pink and had a big heart on top. Chase raised an eyebrow as he saw Marshall talk to the lady at the booth who was showing the pup various books. Eventually, after a few minutes, Marshall took one and nodded thanks to the lady before returning to Chase. Sorry, I figured I should get something too. What is it? Asked Chase. Blushing, Marshall showed the cover and Chase couldn't help but snicker. 1,000 Ways to Confess to the One You Love? He gave a teasing smirk at his friend. Ah, does Marshy Warshai have a crush on someone? Shut up, replied Marshall, hiding his face behind the book. Look, I like someone. I'm not gonna say who, but I really want to tell them how I feel. I've been trying to for a long time now, and I need all the help I can get. It's most likely Everest. The two of them are close friends, and I think I've seen her wink at him. Chase smiled and put his paw on his shoulder. Just tell them. Look, they'll be glad to have you because you're a good pup. And if they don't like you? Well, then they're idiots. What if I'm not brave enough? Asked Marshall. Come on, you're one of the bravest pups I know, and I think you should go ahead and tell this pup you love how you feel, replied Chase. Marshall smiled at his friend and gave him a friendly nuzzle. What did I do to deserve a friend like you, Chase? Just by being yourself, replied Chase as he and Marshall made their way towards the exit. It didn't take them long to arrive back at the lookout where the other pups were playing with each other. Marshall told Chase he was going to put his book in his pup house before rushing off just as Sky noticed the two. Chase held his breath for a bit as he took a moment to observe the cute little cockapoo whose bounce made her seem even more cuter than she normally did. He felt his heart flutter as the bad feelings from earlier at Morgana's tent faded away. Truth was, a part of him wished he could borrow Marshall's book so he could tell Sky how he felt about her the moment she joined the team. Hey, Chase, replied Sky, smiling at him with such pure look it was like an angel had descended upon him. The boys and I are getting ready for a game of kickball. You and Marshall want to join? Only if I get to be on your team, replied Chase, grinning. Rough. It's a deal, replied Sky as she rushed off to let the others know, not knowing that Chase was staring at her bouncing behind. Slapping at himself for such a rude thought, Chase made his way towards the back of the yard to find a perfect place to bury the monkey's paw. He sniffed the ground a bit, making sure not to place it close to other buried items, and soon found the perfect spot near the tree. Digging in, he got his paw dirty before he had a big enough hole to put the paw away in the dirt to rest. He glanced at it one more time and wondered, would it hurt to try it once? He thought about what to wish for and his mind turned back to Marshall. Well, he needs all the help he can get, so I wish Marshall and his crush would get together. He tossed the monkey's paw into the dirt and started to rebury it. After it was filled, he quickly put his scent on it to let the others know it was his spot and rushed to rejoin the others for kickball. Unbeknownst to Chase, the paw had begun to fold one of its fingers. The next day, Chase began his usual morning routine. He jogged around the lookout. Did 50 push-ups and crunches. Practices some PAW katas. And a round of pull-ups on the swing. He started to drink from his water bowl near the swing sets when he noticed that Marshall was out early as well. He was going to wish him good morning when he saw him heading towards Sky Pup House and waited outside, looking nervous. There was also something in his paws, but he couldn't get a good look. Chase, now curious, used his super spy stealth to sneak in closer to see what was up by hiding near the toy box. Slowly, he peeked out to see what it was, but what he saw made his body freeze up from hair to tail. It was roses. A dozen roses all wrapped in a pink bow. Just as he began to comprehend this, Sky came out, yawning before noticing the flowers. She gasped at their beauty before gazing at Marshall, who was looking at her with a heartfelt smile. I got these for you. Sky stared at them before she slowly took them into her paws. Marshall, what is this? Me being brave, he chuckled before clearing his throat. Okay, just like the book said. He took a deep breath and said, Sky, will you go out with me? In that moment, Chase felt his heart shatter. His best friend, the one who was like a brother to him, was asking Chase's crush out. Sky, the one who he had loved in his heart from the day he first gazed upon her eyes. A series of emotions flew through Chase. Shock that the girl Marshall liked was not Everest, but Sky. Horrified that his best friend was doing what he had dreamed of doing for years. Angry that he was even attempting to woo his crush. He was about to march out when what happened next made him all but fall into the darkest pit of despair. Oh, Marshall. Yes. Yes, I'll go out with you.
So, und das war's fürs Livestream gewesen. Hoffentlich hat euch diesen ersten Part Spaß gemacht. Wenn es euch Spaß gemacht hat, dann Like nach oben, abonniert meinen Kanal und aktiviert die Glocke. Den zweiten Part wird in 2 Tagen sein und das ist ein Sonntag. Um 19:10 Uhr wird der zweite Teil rauskommen, aber als in Premiere, aber ich weiß nicht, wann ich werde es machen. Aber nur für euch sagen, das wird als Premiere gemacht dieses Mal. Der zweite Teil wird eine Premiere gemacht. Wegen im Livestream ist es schon ein bisschen kompliziert. Aber ja, das wird als eine Premiere sein. Und deswegen, ich werde mich für heute hier abschieden und wir sehen uns im nächsten Livestream. Bis!